All right. It's a live drive chat with your host, Frank Lindsay. Oh my god, come on. Seriously, bro? Some of the dudes just pull. You know, that's how it goes, man. They just pull out front of you first thing in the morning. You got to watch your ass, watch your back, watch your front. Come on now, let's get some yos out there in Happy Land. Y'all good looking sexy people doing all right today. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whenever you may be, and whoever you may be. This is Frank Monday broadcasting out of the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Monday through Friday on the morning grind. Today is a morning grind edition. We tried to do when I say we, I mean me, myself, and I, tried to do an afternoon shuffle yesterday on the way home, but just didn't seem to work out. Don't know what's up with that. I got my red 76er hat on today, which means it's Friday. Well, it's Friday, and I don't actually typically switch out hats that often, but my wife pointed out yesterday that my hat was dirty. That your hat's dirty. I need to wash it. And I was like, yeah, that would be nice. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, sweetheart. So she's gonna get the hat washed for me. That's nice, right? You appreciate when people do good things for you. I do. I certainly do. Anyway, I show my gratitude. You know, put on the bathrobe, sneak in with the big old hard on. That's how I show my gratitude. Nothing wrong with that. Get her done. Y'all good looking sexy people doing all right? Let's give me them yos if you're out there in Happy Land this morning. Wow, it is freezing today. Yesterday we had a bit of a interesting phenomenon. Big snow in the capital. It snowed March 15th, snowing. That's pretty cool, huh? It's kind of interesting. Something a little different. I can remember it snowing as late as May, though, honestly. And so March, April, May, it's not that late in the year to have a snow. Y'all bear with me for just a second. I'm trying to finish off with JP Farrell here. Who's out there at Happy Land? Sasquatch Roadkill, welcome to the show. How are you doing today? I hope you are well. First thing in the morning, we have got 6:15 on the AM clock here in Beijing. I was watching a little Dave Chappelle this morning. No, not Dave Chappelle. Dave, that other Dave, the white one. What's his name? I can't remember. He's on Louder with Crowder. He was running the Louder with Crowder show this morning. Good. I'm glad you're good. Take it easy. Don't stress the back. I know you've got a disc out, and nothing worse than having back injuries, man. They're no kind of fun. So make sure you get plenty of rest and do some gentle stretching. Maybe get a little yoga in. Wow, there's still snow all over the I feel like one of my windows is down. I don't know. There is snow on the rooftops and snow on the bushes, and it has snowed, and it's frozen and chilly. And I got some dude sneaking up behind me this morning without his headlights on. So I don't know why he's doing that. That's kind of dangerous. You can barely see his car. I guess he forgot to turn his headlights on this morning. All right. And this dude is just, I don't know what's going on, man. Wow. Traffic shouldn't be this bad at this hour. I've been leaving a little early, but I didn't leave as early as I like today. I ran into some concomitants. What happened? Oh, I had to organize my backpack, and I didn't realize it. You know, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, y'all. Everybody loves a Friday, right? It's only Thursday, though, back there in the past. So you guys live and dwell in the past, and Yeah, I don't know what was up with the afternoon shuffle, man. It didn't seem to work. I tried for like 30 minutes to connect yesterday on the drive home, and it finally connected and stayed connected for like 30 seconds, and then that was it. I have got the wrong camera mount in this car, and so see if I can get it just a little more set. It's going to shake, rattle, and roll a little bit because it's not set correctly. So yeah, don't look at the screen, right? Let's talk about the 100-day magical challenge. Has anybody been doing their magical challenge? I watched a really good video on mind magic yesterday. Old school stuff by a guy named Bob Proctor. Do you guys know Bob Proctor? He was in The Secret. So if you're familiar with that sensational, sensational book and short movie film they made about The Secret with a bunch of celebrity millionaires. Uh, they tried to present the Hermetic secret, the Hermetic teachings, and as if they were all that secretive, because they're really not. I mean, we owe it to the 15th century and 19th century researchers into magical sciences for revealing those things. So basically, they quote verbatim the principles in the Kabbalion, which was written around 1910, I believe. So right around that time, and it was brought forward by the Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor. And when we say brotherhood, I mean there's a sisterhood too. The Sisters of the Eastern Star are the Freemasonic equivalent of the Brothers of Light. So there's the Brothers and Sisters of Light. Uh, Back then, those sororities and fraternities tried to keep, well, they did. They kept men and women separate in their teaching. And I think there's a specific reason for that. It's because the teachings have different aspects. Hey, I still got my earmuffs on. Can you believe that? The teachings have different aspects for whether you're a man or a woman. They don't take into consideration any non-gender binary chimeras or fluffies or anything like that, because I don't think those kinds of mental illnesses were very prevalent back then. Those are specific to the millennials. I believe it's kind of the millennials who have started the whole new degeneration of classic archetypes into a spiral of polychromatic dementia that goes beyond reason. Anyway, Bob Proctor was bringing forward the teaching of the law of attraction long before. I didn't know this either. It seems like I had seen some of this material years ago, like even maybe back in the 80s when it was original. Because I remember his story about, he tells a story where, and it's perfect for St. Patrick's Day, right? Maybe that's why the YouTube Algabots recommended it to me, because he found himself in a bar and he was drunk and he had been an alcoholic for a while. And he looks around the bar and he decides to himself, all these guys are bums. And then he looks down at his drink and he thinks, well, wait a minute, that means I must be a bum too. And he decided at that point that he was never going to drink again. That he was going to get out of the bar and do something better with his life. And so road conditions these last few days, man, I would like to hear from Two Little Fish if there's some
something's going on with the luminaries, which is causing all of these road problems. Because I have every morning this week, it seems like I've seen some sort of road BS, and me myself, I even got a flat tire earlier in the week. All right, I got clear roads up ahead. Now I need to take a quick look. Hey, Owen's out there. Welcome, Owen. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whenever you may be. Uh, I honestly don't know a lot about St. Patrick, except for that I kind of think he's a bit of a subterfuge from the Catholic Church. And when they talk about driving out the snakes out of Ireland, they're talking about driving out the old pagan gods of the Irish, right? The Celtic gods that those peoples honored through through oral traditions and ruins. You know, they had their own runic language. And so I never really got into studying much about St. Patrick's. Um, I like some of the saints. I like St. Christopher. Seems like he was a vampire or the leader of a cult of snakes. So you guys will have to you'll have to educate me on the finer details about St. Patrick. But in the US, holidays like this, Halloween and stuff, are so commercialized that many people don't know the background and history of what's really going on with those holidays. Like with St. Patrick, we just celebrate it as an Irish holiday and, paint the river green in Chicago and Boston and I believe Detroit and anywhere where there's a substantial Irish population. People talk about leprechauns and a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And so it's kind of obfuscated and nebulous. So maybe I'll do some research today and get in there and check it out. I haven't been bringing my laptop to work though this week because my daughter has been she stayed home and she's been doing her schoolwork from online classes. So she's been using my laptop. We don't have laptop. The kids don't have their own laptops. I mean, my daughter's only 15. I don't think that merits a laptop yet. I didn't get my first laptop until I was like, 35. But I think the difference is they didn't have laptops when I was a kid. Yeah, they did. They had some sort of computers back in the 80s. You could check your Radio Shack catalog, but they weren't very useful. They didn't have, full color television screens on them where you could choose and stream any kind of show you want. I mean, we take for granted these days how much more convenient, even though it lags sometimes, and there's been a lot of trouble with connectivity here recently in the capital. We kind of take for granted um, how much better it is now in the 2020s than it was, say, back in the early 90s. I graduated from high school in 1992. So that dates me, which I don't always like to date myself, but there you have it. Uh, so we had a home computer, we had a PC, but it had a giant tower. Maybe it had 256K of RAM or something. Who knows? Good man, yeah. Lay off the sauce for a couple of days. You got to recover. Let the old let the brain settle down before you open up the next bottle of whiskey or beer. I may have myself a beer this evening. It's Friday. Um, my wife's got plans with her girlfriends, of course, which she always does on Fridays. So I might buy myself a 6 pack of pilsners. I can't handle much more than a pilsner these days, man. A light beer, not a light beer. I'd have a full flavored pilsner, but I'd like to have some extra stout. Or why don't you recommend a good beer for me, Owen? since you know your hops and barley better than I do, probably. I never researched the stuff. I just drank it. You know, I'm sure you do. There's probably a lot of folks out there that enjoy a nice frosty malted beverage and have no idea about the history or origin. Wow, another road incident. Hey, with the camera set like this, I might be able to turn you guys around. Yeah, let me show you guys the toll gate as we go through it. Wait a minute. I don't have any cash. I got to use the phone to pay the toll. Let me see if I can keep the phone connected, though, so you guys can see the snowy environment out there, right? I'm going to have to pull you guys off the mount, though, and pay my fee here at the toll gate. You see that sign? Beijing 2022. That's for the Olympics, baby. All right. ETC. $5. Make me holla. Here we go. Give me a minute, y'all. Connected, y'all. This is Pichu here. Pichu. He is the ninth son of the celestial dragon. He's kind of the trickster god in Chinese mythology. He appears as a small dragon-like creature. Well, he is a dragon. He's the ninth son of the Lord of Heaven. Yo, if y'all good-looking, sexy people can still hear me, let me show you some of this landscape out here. I don't see them yos. Let me see them yos. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. Channel update. This is the live drive jive. Yeah, like Pikachu. That's right. Maybe that's where they got the name Pikachu. So you guys can see this wintry snow weather, right? Y'all give me a yo if you could. Yeah, I can see that yo. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate them yos. That'll put the lead in my pencil. Um, where were we? What were we talking about when I went through the toll gate to pay the old troll? Ooh, I got a trucker coming up behind me like he wants to fucking ram me through the red light. Jesus, brah. All right, I'm at the red light. I can stop, fire up a JP Farrell, perhaps. Is It's Asian originally, that cartoon? Yeah, it's Japanese. Pikachu is Japanese. So let me see if that sounds the same in Chinese, because I do know some Japanese, and of course, my Chinese is fluent, and I know probably more about the Chinese culture than most Chinese people, because it's my major area of study. I did postgraduate research, doctoral research on Chinese poetry, Tang Dynasty poetry, and mythology. Um, Sounds like Pikachu. Yes, it does. A brewery, Owen. The sweet smell of a brewery is it's like roses to my nose. I used to work at the brewery, so I know the stuff. Wow, Sasquatch, you worked in a brewery? I wouldn't survive long if I worked in a brewery, man. I'd end up swimming in a fucking 1,000-gallon vat of whiskey and drinking myself into oblivion. You got to be careful. You just had some shrooms? Good God, color me jealous. What I wouldn't give to have a nice little fucking sack of shrooms, man. It's been years. It's been good God, close to 30 years since I've had the delightful and yummy taste of cow shit shrooms, right? Man, yeah, I would be I might have to come back home and see you, Sasquatch, and we'd get us a burlap sack full of mushroom caps and run around in the woods, run around in those enchanted woods and ancient gardens, naked and a head full of shrooms. That truly sounds delightful. All right, you guys enjoying this wintry landscape? I'll put you back over on my ugly mug. I hate that this camera mount bounces around so much. But there isn't a single thing I can do about it. My good camera mount is in my minivan today, so I'm stuck here with this. I was telling the kids, my high schoolers, 12th graders, yesterday about all of the gender studies programs in the US and what to look out for because all of them are going abroad. I'm in a program where all of the students are going to go to universities in Australia, Canada, England, the US. I think one guy even told me he's going to go to South Africa, but they're all going to English speaking countries. That's why I'm working there as an English teacher, and um, creative arts and so on, writing. Anyway, I was telling him about all the different gender stuff that is going on. Like, I said, you'll encounter people who may not identify as a man or a woman, right? They may be male, but identify as a trans Plutonian lizard, non-binary lizard creature, right? So you're going to have to, you know, watch your P's and Q's, and they might not like being referred to as he or she. They might have a different pronoun like they, them, or something like that. And I said, so just be careful and you'll have to figure that out. And they said, oh, that's interesting because the Chinese language does not have masculine and feminine pronouns. In Chinese, they only have one pronoun and it's one pronoun, and in Chinese it's pronounced ta, ta. And so ta is used for men, women, and inanimate objects. They only have one pronoun. They don't have he, she, they, them, that, or this. Well, they have that and this, but what you get what I'm saying? They only have one, and it's not delegated by gender or even living, right? Like I said, it can be used for a thing, right? Like when you're talking about this thing, you can say ta as well. Wow, what a joke. Come on, man. That wasn't cool. But he got it done. So one of the real smart kids, genius level intellect, this guy, he reads all kinds of things. Like there's two guys in class can actually carry on a conversation in English. And that's a pretty high level achievement for for a foreign country where that's their second language of study. And anyway, so he told me that, and I was like, yeah, I've thought about that in the past. I realized that when I first studied Chinese, that Chinese is a gender neutral language. They don't have masculine and feminine pronouns in Chinese. So there you go. There you have it. They said they would just use that excuse if they find themselves in trouble. Pretty smart, huh? Wow, the landscape looks kind of beautiful with all the snow out today, guys. It's kind of nice. Almost looks like Christmas. I'll let you guys have a quick look at Plum Blossom Lane. It looks like the ideas room dropped to 0. Is anybody still out there? Give me a yo if you can still hear me out in Happy Land. Let me flip this camera around and show you guys what Plum Blossom Lane looks like, where the old wizard really quite insane, hobbles about and gibbering, inane, in clear and palpable pain. To watch him is a pain. Yeah, so this is a little country road style road where and routinely cause head-on collisions. There are tombstones all along both sides of the road. Just to my left, there's a river, and you got to be 100% on this part of this part of the drive because they'll jump right out in front of you, and they'll fly around someone and come at you head on. And I've been driving this road for 2 years now, and I've seen a dozen accidents, like the remnants of a dozen accidents. And I've seen maybe one live accident. And in fact, this whole suburban little, it's kind of a semi-rural, semi-suburban area. Um, I've been witness to the remnants of a dozen vehicle accidents and a half a dozen motorcycle accidents and one motorcycle death. Yeah. So I rolled up on a scene, and there was a guy that had been hit by a car on his motorcycle, and his helmet was cracked, and there was a pool of blood, like probably 10 feet in diameter. So, and he was dead. And I thought, good God, that sucks, man. And it was on a part of the road, not right here, another part of the road in a different location where guys on mopeds had shot across the road right in front of me. And I thought, damn, like where I had to slam on my brakes. And I thought, damn, you just tried to commit suicide with my car, bro. Why would you do that? And driving in China, it's a gamble, man. You got to watch your ass. These guys don't have proper training. And I could testify to that too. When I went through the Chinese driver exam test, it was like it's 200 questions. And I took it in Chinese the first time and I passed it. I don't think I passed it the first time. I think I had to go home and study a little bit. Like there was some vocabulary that I hadn't studied at university, and I had to have my wife teach me the answers and shit. But it wasn't that hard. And you're talking about a population that has a pretty high level education for the most part. I mean, these guys go through like physics and chemistry and algebra and mathematics and calculus by the seventh grade. They've got a higher by my kids by the seventh and eighth grade, by junior high, had a higher level education than I did graduating from university. So it shows you where they're at in their studies. They're studying the classics. There's four great classics in Chinese literature: um, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Journey to the West. Then there's an erotic tale, a tale of eroticism called The Dream of the Red Chamber, where it's all about the emperor running around and screwing all the concubines, but it's about political intrigue. And one more, Outlaws of the Marsh. So those are the four Chinese classics of literature, and they study them from like pre-kindergarten all the way up through high school. So they start the kids out on like nursery rhymes and stuff and mythological tales from those books. But then by elementary school, they're reading them in a reduced form, right? And then by junior high, they up the level, they up the ante. And then by high school, this is like graduate level material. In fact, when I did my um, postgraduate research at university here in China, those were the exact books that were in my program. Those and the complete works of Tong poetry and those types of things. Um, I did study some obscure Taoist texts that were more related to my interests and my fancy. Yeah, the idea room number says it's dropped to 0. Now it's back up to 1. So Owen's still out there. Frank knows more about another country's culture than I do about my own. No, I'd like to learn more about the Irish culture and the history of Ireland and so on and so forth. I just I haven't taken the time to do the research or read the right materials. Two little fish, Mary Moon, Miss Mary Moon, the uh, master astrologer in the group who visits us occasionally. Uh, she she's recommended a good book on Irish magic and mysticism, but I haven't done it. It's funny too because when I'm engaged in um, when I'm full steam in the middle of a semester, which midterms are coming up, they're not that far off. That's typically when I do my most independent studies as well, because I find that the more I do, the more I can do, and the busier I get, the more likely I am to do more research and stuff like that. Yo, we have arrived at the yard. Whoa, I hit the fucking curb. Good God. That's all right. I'll have to check that tire, make sure I didn't. Nah, I barely tapped it. Can you guys hear me all right out in Happy Land? Y'all good looking, sexy people. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. And I'll tell you why I'm wearing a red hat rather than a green hat. In Chinese culture, a green hat means that you're cucked. So if a man's wife is cheating on him, then he has to wear a green hat. And so I'm not going to run around in a green hat in China because that would mean that I'm cucked. And I don't believe I am. And if I don't believe my wife has ever cucked me. Not that I know of. And if she's ever had any extramarital affairs, she's never let on to. She swears innocence. And I've never questioned her. And when she says she's going out with her girlfriends, I just take it at face value, you know. I'm not a jealous man, and I married a woman that I consider to be a plain woman. She's not excessively physically beautiful. She's got a good personality. She's got good skills. She's intelligent. She's well organized. She's a diligent housekeep type person. I mean, she doesn't do housework per se, but she's a good quartermaster. She stocks the house with the correct nutrition for my children, right? And goodies for me and shit. She's in charge of the budget, and she hires housekeepers, nannies to come over, which are always female. She's never hired a male nanny. She knows I wouldn't approve of that shit. Um, but yeah, she'll hire a nanny to come over and do the do the floors and stuff. She don't like to do that shit, but she'll do laundry. She will do laundry. She loves her clothes. She loves fashion, and she keeps all my laundry clean. And she was hell bent. She's got a. I'll tell you a fucking secret. I don't really share that often, but she's got an MBA. When I met her, she was working towards her master's of business administration in Boston, Massachusetts. I was living there, and I was actually working in management. And that's when we met, man. She was finishing up her international MBA. All right, we got some yo's out in Happy Land. Owen's out there, Sasquatch Roadkill's out there, and that's it. I don't see anybody else. Is anybody else in the ideas room today, guys? Um, Monsieur Tiedrick is having his dinner, so he's not able to tune in for the live drive jive anymore, which is kind of a bummer, man. He's a huge supporter of the channel. Yeah, why do men being humiliated have to wear a green hat? I don't know the exact details of that, but I just know that it's a thing because I had a couple of green hats. I had a Celtics hat and I had another green hat, and my wife threw them away. She fucking cut them up and disposed of them. And I'm like, "Hey, where's my Celtics hat?" And she's like, you can't wear that. And I'm like, where is it? And she's like, it's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean it's gone? And then she told me the story. She said that if you ever put that on, our entire family would lose face and we would be the laughing stock of the entire community. And she explained it to me, but I never did the research. But here's the funny thing. Red, it's it's um its alternate color on the astral is actually green. Its inverse color is green. So if you stare if you stare at my red hat for, is its inverse color green or blue? No, I think it's green, if I'm not wrong. Am I wrong in that? I'll have to look that up, man. I've forgotten my color theory. But if you stare at it for 30 to 60 seconds, unblinking, and then close your eyes, it will reflect green in your mind. So on the astral, things are the opposite colors that they are in the prime material plane. That's a deep secret about mysticism and magic that a lot of people don't know. But when you contemplate kameas and tatwas, then you learn that fact. So if you stare at blue, it turns yellow. And if you stare at red, it turns green. I believe that's correct. I'll have to check again. I guess I could sit in meditation later this afternoon and see what colors it turns. Because I haven't practiced that in a while. I mean, I practice it all the time, but uh, I'm not in a mind to understand it right this second. The intellectual mind doesn't work very well first thing in the morning. You got to get up and get at your day. Your greatest intelligence, the mind is clearest at noon. But your connection with spiritual energies is greatest at 3 a.m., the hour of the liver in Chinese medicine. Noon is the hour of the horse. And so the mind is like a galloping stallion on the fields and plains at midday. Really, the hour of the monkey is when you're the most clever, which is no, it's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the hour of the monkey. If people knew more about the Chinese system of internal alchemy and the hourly rotation of energies, then they would. I don't wear hats at all. Messes my hair. Ha! You beautiful Irish bastard. You beautifully bearded Irish bastard. Don't muss the hair. Um, I actually use I use the hat to set my hair, so I'll get the hair wet, like you can see it's still damp, and then I put the hair on, and it keeps it tamed down. Because I have got what they call a Jufro. So if I wash my hair and then just let it settle naturally, it's curly and it's tight curls. So it looks like Bob Ross's afro if I let it do its own thing. Hey, Monsieur Tiedrick's out there in Happy Land. He's having dinner with the family and just wanted to say hi. Thanks for stopping in, Tiedrick. We appreciate you, man. And enjoy your dinner. Um, I wish I could figure out a way to connect with you, man. And but I just, I just got to follow the tides, the winds of change, right? By who is that? The Scorpions. Down to Gorky Park, listening to the winds of change. Change or changes? Winds of change. I believe that's right. Thanks for stopping by, Monsieur Tiedrick. And if you are listening, hey, wow, Occult Priestess is in the chat. What a treat. Good to see y'all good looking, sexy folks out there in Happy Land. Yes, the winds of change. That's a rocking song. What they did another great song, right? That was the Scorpions, if I'm not correct, or Whitesnake. Was it? I think it was. No, it was Scorpions. I'm going with Scorpions on that one. Um, I wasn't big into the hair rock, but my sisters were. I had two older sisters, and they played all kinds of horse shit for me when I was a kid. Yeah, Rock You Like a Hurricane. That was their other big one. Rock you like a hurricane. I don't remember none of the words. That was before my time, really. But I caught the tail end of it as a little boy, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. They were playing that. That was 80s. No, so I was getting into my teens then, but it still seems like it was a little early for my rocking days. When I when I was preteen, when I was a child and adolescence, it went from like funk, classical music is what my mom started me on, right? Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, Tchaikovsky. And then my dad brought home like 25, 30 jazz albums, Red Skeleton and who were all those guys that blew the trumpets? Duke Ellington, that kind of thing. So that's what my dad played at night. And then my sisters, they got their hands on funk and they started bringing home stuff like Sugar Hill and the Gang and I don't know, all kinds of crazy shit. And there was always a plethora of vinyl in the house. We were an upper middle class family, so we had tons of vinyl and tons of um, record players and stereo systems. We had it all, man. Good childhood. I had a good childhood. I would never want to disparage my childhood in any way. My parents really treated us good and they let us run wild too, which doesn't necessarily help, but it's what it is. So I got into gangster rap as soon as cassette tapes came out. I mean, those were available everywhere in LA. So it was all about the gangster rap. And then after that, it was heavy metal. So I went straight from gangster rap to heavy metal. Those were my two main influences, my generation. So Iron Maiden, Sepultura, Megadeth, Slayer, those kinds of guys. When I hit my teens, 13 is when Rain and Blood came out. And it was Raining Blood from a lacerated sky. Yeah, Angel of Death, monitor the kingdom of the damned, infamous butcher. Ah! So that was my jam right there, man. And then the ballads of Iron Maiden. You guys want me to sing you an Iron Maiden ballad before I go to work? I got to go have my breakfast, y'all. So we got to calling into it. But one of my favorites, Hallowed Be Thy Name. I was waiting in my cold cell when the bells began to chime. Sing it with me if you know the lyrics. Reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time. 'Cause at 5 o'clock they take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running low, running low. As the priest comes to read me my last rites, I take a look at the world. I took a look through the bars at the world as the last sights of a world that has gone very wrong for me. Can it be that there's some sort of error? Hard to stop the surmounting. God, I look like Hitler. Is this the end or some crazy dream? Somebody please tell me that I'm dreaming. It's so hard to stop from screaming, but words escape me as I try to speak. Can it be that there's some sort of error? Hard to stop the surmounting terror. Is this the end? Or the way you get it is they're going to die and weep. But why do I cry? Don't I know that life goes on and life down here is just some strange illusion? Oh, hallowed be thy name. Oh, hallowed be thy name. That's it, guys. Love how you're full of energy in the morning, Frank. It's great to see you. Good to see you, Owen. Thanks for stopping by. Occult Priestess, y'all good looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. Stay well. Sasquatch Roadkill, thank you for all the support. Thank you for the support, Owen. Good God, guys, man. It looks like it could turn into a happy, fucking jazzy day, man. If I could stick around. Monsieur Tiedrick, good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, whenever you may be. the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host, Frank Monday, on the morning grind. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out, guys. And if you get a chance later, come back and leave a comment on the video. I love y'all, good looking, sexy people. And I'll abodes of the future, as above, so below, as we roll on down the road. Good magic, everyone.